On September 23, 2023, Officer Mooring of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission arrested a woman for boating under the influence on Florida waters. What follows is not a dramatic confrontation. It is a textbook demonstration of how implied consent law, Miranda procedure, and the Fifth Amendment interact in a real arrest situation.
We're going to take this life jacket off you. Do you have a shirt on there? No. No? Okay. I'm going to take this one handcuff off. You're going to put this through the life jacket and back out. Okay? Put this one through the life jacket and back out. Alright. This. You got me her wallet, right? Yeah. Okay. Alright. There's nothing else on there?
Under Florida Statute Section 327.352, any person operating a vessel on Florida waters is deemed to have given implied consent to a chemical breath test if lawfully arrested for boating under the influence. Before that test may be admitted as evidence in court, a certified operator must observe the subject for a minimum of 20 consecutive minutes, ensuring no oral fluid contamination that could compromise the result. This is not optional formality. It is the evidentiary foundation upon which the breath test result will stand or fall. Officer Mooring completed and documented this observation period on camera. A second certifying officer then verbally verified the completion of that observation period before authorizing the test to begin, a two-officer protocol that reflects sound institutional design and protects the evidentiary chain. The constitutional basis for implied consent breathalyzer laws was established in Schmerber v. California in 1966, where the Supreme Court held that compelled breath testing does not violate the Fifth Amendment because breath is not testimonial evidence. This means a subject cannot refuse a breath test on Fifth Amendment grounds. Under Florida law, refusal is itself a civil infraction and may be introduced at trial as evidence of consciousness of guilt.
Step up. 1, 2, 3. All right.
Seat right above, go right back all the way back there.
Okay, officer, did you conduct a 20-minute observation?
I did.
During that time, did the subject take anything by mouth or regurgitate?
She did not.
The time is 21:11. You may begin.
All right, today is Saturday, September 23rd, 2023. I am Officer Mooring with FWC, Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. I have arrested and charged Lauren. Go ahead and stand up for me. And we are going to be on. Oh yeah, sit down real quick. Let's see something real quick. Sorry. I'm gonna read you the Miranda warning. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer or have him present while you are being questioned. If you can't afford a lawyer, one will be hired for you. One will be appointed to you to represent you in any questionings if you wish. If you consent to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering questions. Do you understand these rights?
Yeah, aren't you supposed to read that before you arrest me?
No, that's because I wasn't questioning you. Okay, with these rights in mind, do you wish to talk and answer questions? No. Now you can stand up. All right. All right. Come on.
Okay, this will conclude at 21:14.
Following the breath test, Officer Mooring delivered the Miranda warning, clearly, completely, and at the correct procedural stage after arrest, before any questioning. Established in Miranda v. Arizona in 1966, this advisement is required before custodial interrogation, not at the moment of arrest.
Put this one
This distinction is one of the most misunderstood principles in American criminal procedure. The subject challenged the officer directly. "Aren't you supposed to read that before you arrest me?" Officer Mooring's response was legally precise. "No, that's because I wasn't questioning you." That answer is correct. Miranda protects against self-incrimination during custodial questioning, not against arrest itself. An officer who arrests without questioning has no obligation to advise Miranda at that moment. The Supreme Court confirmed in Berkemer v. McCarty in 1984 that Miranda applies to all custodial interrogations, including misdemeanor and boating offenses, but only when interrogation is about to occur. When asked whether she wished to answer questions, the subject stated clearly, "No." This is an unambiguous invocation of the Fifth Amendment right to silence, and Officer Mooring ceased questioning immediately. Under Berghaus v. Tompkins in 2010, the Supreme Court held that a subject must unambiguously invoke the right to silence. A single, clear no meets that threshold. Continued questioning after such an invocation would render any statements inadmissible. Officer Mooring receives a grade of A-. The 20-minute observation was completed and documented. Miranda was accurate, complete, and timed correctly. The subject's constitutional challenge was answered with precision and composure. The minor deduction reflects a brief verbal hesitation during the Miranda delivery, which does not affect legal validity, but slightly undermines the professional presentation of a procedurally critical advisement. The subject, Lauren, receives a grade of B+. Her invocation of the right to silence was timely, unambiguous, and legally effective. She did not physically resist at any stage of the arrest or processing. Her challenge on Miranda timing, while legally incorrect, demonstrates engagement with constitutional rights rather than passive compliance, a posture that ultimately served her legal interests. The correct instinct, applied at the right moment, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission receives a grade of A-. The two-officer breathalyzer verification protocol reflects institutional adherence to Florida Administrative Code Rule 11D8 and protects the prosecution's case from procedural challenge. At the time of this analysis, the disposition of any charges arising from this arrest remains unknown. Based on the documented evidence, a completed observation period, and a lawfully administered breathalyzer, the evidentiary foundation for a BUI charge appears procedurally sound. Lesson 1. Miranda is not a pre-arrest requirement. It is a pre-interrogation requirement. Knowing this distinction protects both officers from procedural challenges and citizens from waiving rights they did not realize they had. Lesson 2. Implied consent laws are binding before an encounter begins, not at the moment of arrest. Operating a vessel or motor vehicle in Florida means consent to chemical testing has already been given by operation of law. Lesson 3. Invoking the right to silence requires a clear, unambiguous statement. Silence alone is not enough under Berghaus v. Tompkins. A direct no or "I invoke my right to remain silent" is the legally effective response. Lesson 4. When an officer's procedure appears unusual, handcuffs through a life jacket, two-officer verification, the question to ask is not whether it looks standard, but whether it serves the legal and safety purpose the protocol was designed to achieve. In this case, it did. Procedural compliance in DUI enforcement is not bureaucratic inconvenience. It is the difference between a conviction that stands and one that is dismissed on a technicality. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments below. Thank you for watching.